Here's an example of the tire age on my tire. It is week number 32 and year 2015. Hi, welcome to CarsAddiction.com. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ryan and we share car-related content every Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday is a short snippet of any car encounter I come across, and Sunday is a full-fledged video of a project, a build, one of my cars, or any encounter I come across. Now, for today, we're going to talk about tires. Now, let's just start off how to spell tire. The Americans use the I and the British use the Y. Tires versus tire, there's no good or bad, it's just where you're from. Now, let's get to the important stuff. Now, tires are very important asset to your vehicle. They are the means where the engine connects to the road. It makes you turn without losing grip. It gives you acceleration times. It gives you stability on high speed runs. They are very important. Now, having not up-to-date tires may affect the performance of the car overall. So it's important to understand your tires and make sure you know when it's time to change them. And most importantly, it's good to know the tire condition overall when buying a used car, because tires are not cheap, they are expensive to buy, and might be a deal breaker when you come to buy a used car, because you don't want to buy a used car where tires haven't been thought for. Now, the number one thing is tire age. Now, tires are fit for retail if they are up to 5 years old from production. And it is generally recommended that tires are replaced between 7 to 10 years after the production date. Now, the way you notify how old the tire is look onto the tire sidewall, locate a 4-digit number within a oval, and the first 2 digits will tell you the week number, and the second 2 digits will tell you the year number. Here's an example of the tire age on my tire. It is week number 32 and year 2015, meaning that this tire is 6 years old. I haven't done that much mileage. In fact, the tread is still very good, but coming up next year or maximum of 10 years, I would still need to change this tire, although I have the tread. So make sure you look at this number when buying a used car, so you can identify if you need to replace tires or not, or when buying new tires of the retail shop, that they don't sell you something that's 5 years or older. Now, having something that is, like we said, over than 7 years is about time you change it. Even the tread is still good, because the rubber will get hard and it won't have the grip properties it had when it was new. Second thing to go to is the tire pattern on the driving wheels. So we're talking about a front wheel drive car. We have to make sure that the pattern of the front wheels are exactly the same and the same age. You do not want one tire to be newer or have a different pattern than the other, because that will cause strain onto the diff and drivetrain while you're driving. Now, that will be a sort of a more long-term issue failure if you have different tires on the driving wheels. So it's important that if you have a failure on one of the tires or a puncture, that you actually swap the tires around. So what will happen is you put rear tires that are exactly the same pattern and age onto the front, and the new tire to the back. This way you're rest assured that you have the same pattern and age of tires on the driving wheels. Now, again, this is important to identify when buying a used car, so you know that you won't have issues on the drivetrain or anything like that. Another thing is that all-wheel drive cars need to have all 4 wheels the same. Otherwise, again, they'll cause issues in the drivetrain, because different wheels might have different grips and cause sort of the computer to go crazy at times. So unfortunately, if your tire has gone on your all-wheel drive car, that means you need to change ideally all 4 tires. Tip number 3 is to periodically check your suspension geometry. So we're checking things about camber and all that, making sure that the tires are both left and right are onto the ground at the same angle. You don't want premature wear on the tire on the inner or outer, and then don't have the same wear on the other side. So it's important that every year you get this checked. Some countries have more potholes than the other, and this geometry gets lost by time, so it's important you do it every year. Number 4 is tire pressure. It's important to keep the tires up to pressure as recommended by the car manufacturer. The tire pressure of each vehicle can be found in the door jamb usually, or in the user manual, or maybe in the gas cap. This is for our BMW Z3. And we have our tire pressure indication over here for the fronts and over here for the rears. Now there's a lot of information because this car came with a lot of different tire setups. So basically you'll find your tire setup on this column. We're running 17-inch wheels with 225s at the front, so that will be a 2.2 pressure, and our rears are 245, so that will be a 2.2 pressure for the rear wheels. Some tire manufacturers recommend different pressures depending on the load capacity you have in the vehicle. Tip number 5 is to understand the numbers that are onto your tire. Now the various numbers mean a lot, so when it comes to buying a new tire, you should actually buy something that is similar to what the car manufacturer recommends. So what do the numbers mean that are on the wheel? The most important ones, like we identified before, is the H. That's the 4-digit number, and it's the only one like that. Then we have the width of the tire in millimeters. 225 is the width. We have the aspect ratio of the width of the tire against the diameter of the wheel. And then we have the compound of the wheel, that's a radial tire. And we have 17 for 17 inches. Then we have the load capacity, 91. So the higher the number here, the higher capacity it can take the tire. I think this one is about 615 kilos. So 615 kilograms per corner. And V is the speed rating. So don't know the speed ratings by heart, but just Google, find the chart, and you can find that how fast that this tire can go. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Take care.